I think I was born with travel in my blood. Like, my grandparents were OG travelers in terms of they had the old travel trailer. My grandpa followed jobs around construction sites because he was an electrician. That's how my mom and her brother grew up. And then my mom took it another step further with me. We traveled overseas. So I've lived outside of the country a couple times. It is my favorite pastime. When Ben and I met and got married, it was something we started doing together. We decided it was time to really kick up the travel and not just fly places.
And as for vehicles, we started off in a 32-foot Class A motorhome and towed a trailer with our ATV and kayaks and bicycles on the back. And when you're on the road, as long as we are, every cubic inch counts. We're in this for the long haul. And this was a great use of space and the right price range. Hello, we are Ben and Rebecca of Outliers Overland. We're at our home base in Seward, Alaska. Normally we'd be on the road right now, but this little thing called COVID has forced us off.
This is Denny. He's our trusted friend and travel companion. He's a four-wheel drive Mitsubishi Expedition vehicle, FG140,
Yep.
right?
2007, four-wheel drive,
From the
diesel.
factory.
From the factory. It is a beast.
And we have traveled in this since 2018. Made some modifications. We're the third owners. So the first guy built the box, the second guy finished the interior, put it on a newer chassis, and then we've made it a little bit more sustainable for like full-time living.
Well, the most noteworthy thing is we have actually traveled in it. Roughly about 42,000 miles in 2 years, coast to coast, top to bottom of North America.
Well, welcome to the inside of Denny Faraday. His full name is actually Denali Faraday. We named him for the Great One here in Alaska, the Denali Mountain. And then Faraday kind of came later, because if you get inside of here and you close all the windows up, you can't get any cell phone signal. So we joke and say it's like a Faraday cage. Anyway, this is our kitchen. This is a 5-foot long countertop to kind of give you perception. We've got cabinetry below and cabinetry above. We have a Wallace diesel stove. So this acts as a stovetop for cooking when it's open. Close it and it acts like a heater. So we have a lot of redundancies in here, and one of them is heat sources. We also have an S-bar, and then we can also heat with electricity. And we've got lots of storage, and one of my favorite features are our slide-out drawers. So this is our produce basket that normally has lots of fruits and vegetables in it, but we're home right now, so it doesn't. We keep an Instapot to cook with, and down here we have like canned goods and flowers and stuff like that. And then just more storage up here. We keep food on this side. And over here we have coffee and, cups and plates and stuff like that. It's a little empty right now because we're not traveling. And then we had a friend help us build this. A friend of mine from school in Kansas helped us build a place to keep all of our spices and liquids and vitamins and toothbrushes and stuff like that. So, tiny kitchen, but it gets the job done. You're out of the elements. You have everything you need. Our freezer comes right out of the countertop here. It's a nice and deep one. And then our refrigerator is over here. So this is probably one thing we would change if we had it to do over again and we built this, is having the fridge under our dinette is kind of a challenge. But we added these struts so we can lift it up and down more easily, and that's helped a lot. So when we bought the truck, they had these latches built, because these are just regular cabinets. They're not like the fancy ones with push buttons and stuff. So the previous owner had installed these. We still had incidences where, well, I'll show you. We have 4 big plates, 1 small plate, and 1 bowl left, and that's because stuff kept falling out of the cabinets. Corel actually does break. So then Ben added an eye and hook, and we have these on all of the cabinets in our truck. that really did the trick for us to make it so they stay closed. We never have a problem now. So one of my favorite things about this sink is how deep it is. At first I thought, I'm not too sure if I like this sink, but it's really nice because it's super deep. We even washed clothes in here and stuff. It has a cover so you can pretend you don't have dirty dishes. We do have a 5-gallon hot water tank, so we use that more for showers, but if you needed hot water for washing dishes, then it's there. So our same friend that built the cabinet or the shelving on this side built these for us with Ben's help. So we each have a side for personal belongings. This is where like lotions and hairbrushes and shavers go for each of us. Then we each have 3 hooks. It's a place to hang up some clothes, which is really nice because our clothes go clear up there, and it's nice to be able to grab something quickly from here. So we've got a Maxxair fan, which I would never live without. This thing is awesome. We use it all the time to ventilate, when we're showering, when we're using the bathroom, all sorts of things. Then we've got our heater here. We do not have an air conditioner in here yet, and that's something that will change before we travel overseas, because it gets pretty hard to, like, we don't have to run from the cold in this thing. We've done -20 in this truck for a week driving down the Alcan. But on the flip side, we don't have air conditioning, so we run from the summer weather now. And that gets harder to do when you travel overseas.
Well, I guess the kitchen would segue into where you would eat the food that you prepare in the kitchen, and this is our dinette. 3 feet wide, 6.5 feet long, which is nice because not everything in campers is long enough for you to completely stretch out, and it forms into a bed. This drops down and then you pull out another piece and set it here. But there is storage. You saw the refrigerator on the other side. Over on this side, we have just storage, and we have all kinds of stuff that you would normally put in a compartment like this. Now underneath there is the electronics, like the battery, the inverters down there, the charger, tons of wiring. So it's a good double use of space. Very, very deep. We are running 300 amp hours of battle-born lithium. On the roof, there's 520 watts of solar and a 45 amp solar charge converter. Did I say that right? Charge controller, probably. And then a 60 amp shore power option to charge the batteries. And the, did I say 2000 watt inverter? Right down here, there's storage kind of hidden everywhere. We also like to have our own drinking water. Nothing wrong with the stuff that is in our tanks, but just drinking water is drinking water. And this little pump is quite awesome. It's battery operated, and you charge it and you can fill up your water bottles. We have a shoe compartment that is not very deep, but it goes all the way back and holds all kinds of things. And then further down here would be where more infrastructure of the electrical system. And this camper also has antifreeze running through the entire truck to the camper, and it literally circulates, I'd probably guess, about 100 feet of coolant hose. But the benefit of that is our SPAR diesel heater heats up, and that's another form of heat. So it heats the antifreeze, and there's a little fan, and it blows over that. But when we're driving, we can turn the SPAR off, and the heat generated by the engine keeps this box warm. So, for example, -20 going down the Alaska highway, we pulled over for the night, had that thermostat set at 68, and it was nice and cozy in here. Storage is everything, because this camper was set up more for weekends and maybe a 1-2 week vacation for one person, and we needed to make it a full-time travel machine. So we went to Michael's or Joann's and found these very basic wood baskets, and I screwed them to the wall. Problem solved. Everybody needs to have a little catch-all junk bin, constantly needing batteries, a little cord center, the Wi-Fi and the Amazon thing there. Also part of the dinette would be our control panel. Pretty basic, a bunch of on-off switches for each component. We can turn the batteries on and off for the camper, and we can also link the batteries up to the alternator of the engine, meaning that on a cloudy day, like for example, going down the Alaska highway, -20, middle of December, solstice is December 21st, so there's nil in terms of sunlight up here, and when it is sunny, it's low on the horizon, so the panels are not getting much. Flip that over, 60-90 minutes, the entire system's charged up. The bathroom is nothing fancy. It's a wet bath. We have the Thetford style cassette toilet, and it is efficient. It's not glamorous, but it is a place where you can do your business and clean yourself. One of the more niftier things would have to be I always want to call it the poo-la-la, but it's called the poo-la hoop. So this is where we store our toilet paper, and for those van life people, and when you have to go squat in the bushes, you can, obviously we have it tied up, but you can put it around your neck and head out to the woods. There's a 40-gallon tank for our general water. Then there's 5 gallons that sit in the water heater. This is roughly 4 gallons of its own dedicated water, and then 5 to 8 of drinking water. So for the two of us, we like to shower every other day, and we can easily go a week.
This is our bedroom space. One thing that was really important to us was a true queen-sized bed. A lot of the rigs like this that we looked at had maybe kind of sort of a double, but it wasn't a true double. You know, they had to have some special mattress made to make it fit. Ben is 6 feet tall, and we wanted something that he could stretch out in fully. We usually have dogs, and they sleep in bed with us, so they need room, and we just wanted a good space. So this is a true queen-sized bed. We have a memory foam mattress on it, so pretty comfortable. We have smaller storage bins over here on this side. Same cabinetry system with the little locks, and we use lots of baskets everywhere for socks and underwear and clothes. We each have a nightstand up here as little baskets so that we can keep charging cords and glasses and remote controls and stuff like that. We also have storage over here on this side. This side is bigger, so we keep large. It's like a 12 by 18 inch basket for each of us with clothing, shirts and pants and stuff. We do have a 12 volt DVD TV combo in here, and we plug a Roku stick into the back of it when we have unlimited internet. Probably my favorite thing about the bedroom space are the windows at the head and foot of the bed, so you get a nice cross breeze. You also get lots of light up here and great views. We have the Dometic awning style windows, so you can open them even when it's raining, and they have the mosquito screen when it's down, and then they have a blackout blind you can slide up. So underneath the bed is entirely storage. From the front here you can access about 2 feet of it, and then all the way to the head of the bed. This part we keep our laundry hamper. We each have a backpack that's kind of like our office. We have our personal care box, a printer, things like that that you need access to on a regular basis. When we go outside, we can show you the other side of it. It's our garage, and it's 6 by 4 by 3 feet of space. We keep little file cabinet boxes all organized with our storage. So everything you see back there is not wasted space, it's storage. Or, with the exception of, we have a 40-gallon water tank at the foot of the bed.
Well, starting on the outside of the rig would have to be the stairs that we just used, but these accordion and they lift right off. And while we're driving, we set them in there. And yeah, it is kind of a pain, but on the positive side, like we just did the Dalton Highway and everything was caked with mud, but our stairs were clean. This is a very basic, standardized RV door. The exterior of our camper, it's not composite. That is a very high quality and pricey material, and it's amazing, and it's on our wish list for our next habitat box. But these are aluminum panels, and there's a steel frame for the box, and then there's 2 inches of styrofoam in the walls.
This is the little storage for the rest of our cassette toilet right here. This is where you put fresh water into the tank so that you can flush the toilet and clean the bowl. We actually put a little bit of cleaner in there, like a couple drops of concentrated cleaner each time we fill it. Then you kind of get like a little wash every time you flush the toilet. But this cassette just slides out. You take it to the nearest toilet, outhouse. If you have to, you can dig a hole in the ground. We don't use chemicals, so we can do that. Dump it out, rinse it out, and slide it back in, and you're in business again.
These aluminum boxes are just more storage, which is priceless. So I keep my tools, the trusty duct tape, some leveling blocks, all kinds of other things, but things stay nice and dry. You can get a little better look at these awning style windows. They really are amazing, being dual pane and acrylic. They stay cool and they don't condensate, because I'm sure a lot of people in the van life or RVing, truck camping can relate to windows that sweat. Now in the back of the camper, obviously you can see a spare tire. That's 16-inch wheels on our rig, so a very affordable and easy to find tire. We call this the white hole. It's our garage. There's a ton of space in here. I'm not gonna go taking everything apart, just trust me. We keep a lot of our full-time life stuff back here, because when you're on the road, you never know if you're gonna be in a winter climate or a desert climate, so we have literally clothing for everything. There's not too much happening on this side of the camper. This is the vent for our fresh water tank, so if it gets too full, it starts spitting out there. We have 2 fuel tanks. They are 33 gallons of their total size, but they probably hold about 30 gallons each. The truck gets anywhere between 11 and 14 miles per gallon, so that gives us up to, under ideal circumstances, 800 miles of fuel range, which is pretty epic. So this is the exhaust for the diesel stove. And then hidden underneath the back of the truck is that SPAR hydronic heater that I told you about that heats the antifreeze as well. So when you're in a cold climate, like below 0, you can have that thing running. It'll provide heat for the box, but it'll also keep your engine from freezing up.
Something really important to us with this truck, because of our intentions to drive overseas, was that we keep everything simple. So this is a manual transmission. We have manual locking hubs for the 4-wheel drive, so you actually have to jump out, switch it over to, to lock the hubs in place when you transfer it over to 4-wheel drive. Just the fewer systems that you have that are complex or that are going to require computers to fix them or expensive parts from overseas, the better off you are. And that's another reason that we went with the Mitsubishi, because it is serviceable globally. You can get it worked on anywhere in the world. Mitsubishi Fuso is owned by Daimler, which is Mercedes-Benz, so you can get parts in Mongolia or Australia or Timbuktu, literally.
I like waking up in a new place every week. Driving a road that you've never driven before, it's thrilling.
I don't see that we have to have an end point to that. It'll probably, more than an end point, be an evolution, just like this truck was an evolution from the motorhome. Who knows what the next evolution will be, but we're having fun, and as long as we're having fun in it and it fits our needs, we'll keep using it. So everybody asks us, how do you afford to travel? And we feel like that's the wrong question to ask. The right question to be asking is, how do you create location independence? And so we did create a course how to create location independence, how to get away from your 9 to 5. And that's become another source of revenue. I think as long as we've been married, we've been working towards financial independence, financial freedom. And we've gotten to the point where, you know, we have some real estate. We have a bed and breakfast that runs in the summer in Alaska under normal conditions. We have a direct sales business. We have our videography business.
Stock video footage.
Yeah. We have a wide variety and a diversified portfolio, I guess you'd say, of income. You can find us on YouTube at Outliers Overland. We also have a website, outliershub.online. We are on Facebook and Instagram and a little bit on Twitter.
Don't put off fulfilling your dreams. Take action, even if they're like little steps. Just keep working towards that goal. You have the right to live the life that you want. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take sacrifice and it's going to take determination, but it is possible, especially in this day and age.